Who's Shawn Mendes?
Calvin Harris. I'm Zayn.
More hit music.
Turn it up right now.
Midas Radio 90.5 FM. Unrivaled entertainment non-stop. Information is power. Information is life. Information is what you need to navigate your daily lives. And that is what Paper Trend stands for on Midas Radio 90.5 FM. Fasten your seatbelts. Let's take you around the newspapers across Nigeria. We don't just reel out the stories. We also bring diverse analysis to the issues. We give you, the listeners, ample time to share your thoughts on the issues.
Join us from 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning, Mondays to Fridays.
For Paper Trends, a paper review show you can't afford to miss, only on Midas Radio 90.5 FM.
I feel so refreshed coming back from a holiday that we usually have. That's the weekend. And though a whole lot still happens underneath that name, that title, Cold Weekend, we know that it's a time that we all get some space to rest, to attend to quite a number of other issues. And so it was the same cycle over the weekend. But we still feel energized to be back. And so it's Monday, the second day of March 2026, the first Monday in this month. I can gladly say Happy New Month to you, dear listener. If you're a family, you're a fan, you're a supporter, you're a listener, you are drawn to the brand, we want to say thank you very much for doing January, February with us. And so is March. We have to do this together again, don't we? Yes, we have to. We thank you for your constant support. Now, getting very particular this morning, this is Paper Trends coming to you live on Midas Radio 90.5 FM at Doikiti. You're welcome. I'm your host on this edition, BUKOLA FORTUNE-OMOSOLA. A pleasant morning to you, residents of Ikiti. A beautiful morning to you, Nigerians. Thank you for being here with us again. Okay, let's delve into the newspapers very quickly, and I'll be starting with Punch newspaper today. I know, there's one hot story on your mind. Yes, so we'll talk slightly about it this morning because we have to look into all the stories, so we don't have all the time in the world to stay on that. But there are gists about World War. Is that likely to happen again? What's really the position? What should we be bothered about at this time? Should we be concerned about oil price? What's happening in the Middle East? And a whole lot. Who are really the world powers? What proofs do we see now about world powers, and it's been some sort of conversation, some serious conversation, if you ask me. What's in it for Nigeria? What brand do we likely bear following these developments? Israel, Iran, US, and what have you? Khamenei, that's Ali Khamenei and his son. There's a story about the son too. I don't know if you got that detail. But hey, the newspapers will tell us this morning. Iran-US conflict may raise Nigeria's fuel prices. Okay, well, that's what I've been talking about. School owners fear 700,000 Ogun students may miss WASC. 2027 polls won't be 100% perfect, INEC chair warns. Getting back to Israel. Israel hits Lebanon after Hezbollah rocket fire. Dubai got a bit of that yesterday. Rockets here and there, missiles here and there. Well, the casualties are there, being attended to. FIFA World Cup tickets witness huge demand, soaring prices. Nearly 9% may remain in extreme poverty by 2030. That's data by UN. NDLEA uncovers meth laboratory in Imo, arrests wanted drug baron. Probe begins after 4 die in Katsina Ramadan arms stampede. Army major, 10 terrorists killed in 4 attacks on military bases. Fans cashless policy, that's FAAN, roll out sparks airport gridlock. Fans cashless policy rollout sparks airport gridlock. Federal government AFC Inc. $1.3 billion mining investment deal. Now let's see through Premium Times this Monday. Abuja Council pose a dress rehearsal for 2027. That's a question. We've also asked that on one of the editions of Prime Discourse on this dial. FRIN staffers accuse HR director of age falsification. Provide evidence. 3 U.S. soldiers killed, 9 Israelis killed in Iranian strikes. Terrorists raid Kwar village near Woro loot shops. Still this Kwara. Walida is 22 years old. National Population Commission. 185 Iranian schoolgirls now reported dead in U.S.-Israeli missile attack. U.S.-Israel-Iran war, 9 killed as protesters storm U.S. consulate in Pakistan, burn UN building. Kidnapped Ondo community youth leader found dead. U.S. sinks 9 Iranian Navy ships. Trump. U.S. sinks 9 Iranian Navy ships. Is this so much power, or is it misuse of power? Which is it? OPEC Plus hikes production amidst war. Now, there is a war indeed. Now, we don't know if it's a world war. We don't hope for that. Honestly, we do not hope for that. But, hey, what's going on? What's really happening? UAE to cover extended hotel accommodation for tourists stranded in Abu Dhabi. And PFL Roundup. Rangers go top. Insurance, Remo Stars shine. Nigerian military shares February operational wins. First Lady inaugurates National Assembly Christian Fellowship Chapel. Let's see the stories will peak from here. ICPC recovers wiretapping equipment from El-Rufai. Okay, now this is getting a little clearer. ICPC recovers wiretapping equipment from El-Rufai that's been captured by the Nation newspaper. Middle East crisis, IG puts police command on red alert. Really? How Tinubu saved many states from bankruptcy by Sule. Federal government, AFC signed $1.3 billion alumina deal. Alleged plot to poison Tinubu fake, says presidency. Okay, that started to fly just yesterday. National Assembly accountable to God, says First Lady. Okay, we have to get that very clearly. National Assembly accountable to God, says First Lady. Okay. So it's two things. Two things come to mind there. But we'll look at that and we'll clarify indeed this morning. We'll leave the stories there this morning and we'll start up with a conversation on paper trends on Midas Radio 90.5 FM today. We'll only take a breather for a few seconds and we'll start. Okay, we have our analyst for Mondays with us now, engineer Muyiwa Obayonji. Great morning to you. It's great to have you join us on Paper Trends.
Good morning, Buki. Good morning to our listeners.
All right. Yes, indeed. A happy new month to you too. Okay, so let's talk about some issues this morning, as always, and we want to start with the war. So it's been rather interesting to see this development, because we have to be concerned about a whole lot of things as Nigeria. But just before we get there, maybe one of the hottest things we should be concerned about is a fuel price that has been widely talked about. But hey, we'll just talk about that a little. Let's start with the entire conflict. Iran, US, Israeli, US is really showing power. For a few weeks now, for persons who have been in the news and following, U.S. has been threatening that, well, a whole lot of things will begin to happen very, very soon. And, well, it started happening yesterday, day before, well, time zone and what have you may differentiate, but we know about yesterday, a lot of things started to happen. Supreme Leader Khamenei died. There's a story about the son too, unconfirmed by me, but if the papers will tell us that, that's fine. So a lot of things too, missiles here and there, a whole lot of things have been talked about. U.S. power, misuse of power, all of these matters have been raised. What has been your thoughts since all of this skyrocketed or got to escalated? Oh, that's what I meant to say. Escalated.
Thank you very much. You know, if you are following U.S. politics, you know that the Republicans they are known to be warmongers, and while the Democrats are known to be peaceful people, and because of that, sometimes many Americans doesn't like the Democrats, though their policies are good. They have these immigration policies that favors immigrants and so on and so forth. But then, when you look at the last administration of Joe Biden, you find out that it's like the U.S. they are losing their powers to the BRICS, and when I mean the BRICS, I talks about China and Russia. So they're enjoying with India and some other African countries, South Africa, Brazil. So now they are losing their currency is losing power. They are losing even the military power. And so when Trump comes in, the first thing is to really restore American back, and that was why now economic power was using a lot of sanctions now on Russia, on China to restore economic power. He got that. Now it now depends on the military power. And don't forget that it has been long, even though Biden could not be about it at that time, that always at the United Nations there has been a lot of accusations and counter-accusations against Iran that they are enriching their uranium. In fact, by the time Trump will get back there the second time, it has reached about 98%. And you know what that means. Though it's not as if the U.S. doesn't have what they call it, all this power, uranium power. That is atomic bomb. But then they don't want any other country. They want to be the country of the world. So, and because of that, now you see them now coming after Iran, after they have warned them that they should stop enriching their uranium. Now, in the last conflict that involves Israel, where they used their bomb to destroy the nuclear reactor, so to say, not knowing that it's not totally destroyed. But after then, they discover again that Iran has started enriching again, and they now say it has reached 90%, and that's why. And you know that the target in that Middle East is Israel. Israel is the only odd one out, so they wanted to take out Israel, and Israel is the eye of US in the Middle East. So that is why you always say US supporting Israel. Apart from that, most of the technology of US is being handled by the Israelis. So that's why you also see them support it. And the only problem there is their president or their leader, that is Ayatollah Khamenei. And you know in Iran, once somebody becomes an Ayatollah and becomes the leader, until he dies, nobody can change him. So, and the US and Israel have been saying that they are talking about regime change, because they have been testing all their nuclear power on their citizens. And you know, they are this child type of Muslim that they don't care about life. So, and that thing has been causing trouble in the international community. With that, why are you want to test bomb? You go to your own community and kill a lot of people there, and a lot of things like that. Until this time around, that they didn't even inform them, they come there, escalate, and they target the major general, the chief of army staff, they target the chief of defense staff, they target the leader, and they just destroy most of the things. And they too said that, well, if you can't get to US, we know your allies, we know your bases, and all the US have bases in almost all the Arabian countries, the UAE, the Bahrain, the Jordan, the Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Iraq. So Iran began to target all those places. Now let's look at what it portends for Nigeria. Now, number one, there's insecurity aspect, because Iran is predominantly Shiite. And you know, I don't know whether you still remember Saki, the Shiite leader.
Yes, of course.
And also,
exactly.
Yesterday, after they announced that Khamenei has died, they started protesting.
They protested in the northern part,
holding Iranian flag, which is very contrary. You can't be in Nigeria be holding another country's flag, holding Iranian flag. and you know what exactly has been doing in the road of Kaduna and in Abuja. So that's why when you hear this morning that the police said they are going to be very, very careful now in terms of stationing some police officers around those areas so that anything that want to escalate, they have to quickly nip it in the bud. But positively, it's a good news, even though bad to some people, but good to us. So, because now the budget is based on looking at if you can sell our oil at $75 per barrel. That was this year budget based upon. But the way things are going now, probably going to get to 100. So, since 2024, now we'll not be able to meet our oil output target because it has been dwindling. But now, the way things are going now, in the next 1 or 2 weeks, the oil prices, as long as that escalation, that problem begin to continue in the Middle East, which are the peculiar production of, they produce crude oil more. Iran, one of the largest oil producers, after Venezuela, it was Iran. So now, once that escalation is there now, Venezuela has been stopped. Now, Iran is being stopped now. It's going to affect the world oil market. Invariably, it's going to be a positive thing for Nigeria because we're going to meet more of our target this time and be able to really pursue the project and really make sure that the people begin to enjoy. So it's both positive and negative. But the negative one, if our military forces can really take note and put on the standby, be able to stop this because the protest can escalate to another thing. Yes, exactly. So, but positively, we are hoping that if it continues, the price of oil will go up, and the Dangote will also enjoy. Nigeria will also enjoy because we're able to sell more of our crude oil and get more money in foreign currency.
Okay, then. All right, let's get to the next one this morning. Alleged plot to poison Tinubu fake, says presidency. That's in the Nation newspaper. A writer says, no Aso Rock kitchen staff member arrested. A viral report alleging that a kitchen staff member at the State House had been arrested over a purported attempt to poison President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is fake. The presidency declared yesterday in a post on its verified X handle. Ononuga, the special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, dismissed the claim as outright false. Quote, no Aso Rock kitchen staff arrested. No Aso Rock kitchen staff attempted to poison President Tinubu. Please ignore this fake news being disseminated by a video. Unquote. Also, Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Publicity, Mr. Tope Ajayi, dismissed the allegation in a brief response to an inquiry by the Nation newspaper. Fake, that's a quote. Ajayi said tersely when contacted. The rebuttals followed the circulation of a video and a company report on some online platforms alleging that an unnamed chef attached to the presidential villa in Abuja had been apprehended in connection with an alleged plot to poison the president. What did you think about this, on getting this information? Well, there's a place where a lot of persons remember how some stories were initially rebuffed, retracted, and, or rebutted, whatever case here. And this is coming now. Do you think it's the same thing happening now? Let's keep what's happening on the inside. Let's just shield ourselves from any rumors or speculations that could start to happen in the outside world. Or you feel somebody just woke up and put up something. Nigerians may be funny too, but it's here and there. What did you really think about this?
The way things are now, I think we can't believe what they are saying for the presidency, going by what happened during the coup plot. They denied the coup plot until the final time when they now said there's a report.
About 16 persons were arrested.
Which report are you talking about? You said there's nothing like coup. So this one too, we can't discard it, even though they are saying nothing. I know later we'll still get to guide the fact about it. But I think some people are still, they are really very, they don't want to back down in whatever they are planning against the president. Now, they thought maybe they are looking at 2027 that may not be visible. Now, they are using coup is not working now. They say, okay, let's try poison. And don't forget that during the reign of a former president, the late former president, Muhammadu Buhari, there's all this allegation of poisoning where he said the air chassis of the AC was poisoned and the man inhaled it. And that was the reason why he was going abroad for medical check-up throughout that reign. So now we don't want to discard it as being rumor, even though the presidency first denied. They won't come out through and say, oh, the president wants to be poisoned. It will shed a lot of whatever agitation, jitters, and a lot of things, conversation amongst the populace, which they don't want to. So that's why they will deny it. But I know that they say there's no fire, there's no smoke without fire. So later on, we're going to get the fact of it. I know some people, a lot of news agencies will be working on the ground, some people will be getting those reports and to try to get us the report. But if it is true, then I mean that the presidency really have to work on the safety of Mr. President. That the way people are planning it then is getting to a new dimension entirely. Going by what some people are saying, that you don't fight me, if you fight me, you die or I die. Go and ask this, go and ask that. So that going by such type of statement, then it's very important that whether it is true or not, that the presidency or those in charge of taking care of the family of the president should be totally screened or discarded and other people brought in. So I think that is more important. And going by the way it is now, if I see Madam Odure Mtumu, I would have tell him that, Madam, start preparing food for your husband and stop moving up and down. To store the kitchen, whatever. I don't see anything stopping a woman preparing food for the husband instead of allowing this one kitchen staff, that one kitchen staff, and you as the madam sit down somewhere. It's time that he start preparing food for his husband. I don't allow any other external factor to prepare food.
Even at this critical time.
At this critical time. It's not the time to allow any kitchen staff. There's not like kitchen staff. The duty of the woman is made to provide food, make food for the family, especially the husband. Let the woman now start preparing food for the husband, because even if it is not true, I think with the news out, is a pointer to also thinking for people that are planning it to say, okay, if this rumor happened, then it means that it's possible. And you know, in Nigeria, everybody has a price. So they can buy anybody, they can use anything. You know, the way our politicians are so desperate, and it's because of the power they inherit in the political office and the financial money, the money involved in political office. That's why people are so desperate that by all means possible have to get there. And if we can't remove this person by election, we can't remove it by coup, let's try poison. And if poison doesn't work, maybe we'll try to do some other things. And that's why the wife has to sit down now and start preparing food for the husband, and if it's possible, sack all these kitchen staff and let them go away. That's your duty to do.
All right, now, interesting. You mentioned Remi Tinubu already, so I'll stay with that. National Assembly accountable to God, says First Lady. Now, in Nigeria, we know, or even across the world, actions play a part. Religion, when I say religion now, I'm talking about prayers. They also play another part. So where is this for you? Let's take details of that. Lawmakers Chapel inaugurated. That's a rider. Now to the body. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu yesterday urged members of the National Assembly to remain conscious of their ultimate accountability to God as they discharge their legislative duties. Speaking at the dedication and commissioning of the National Assembly Chapel in Abuja, she reminded Christian legislators and by extension all lawmakers that while they legislate for the people, they would give account to God for their actions. The event drew prominent dignitaries, including former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, former Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, and Catholic Bishop of Sokoto, Matthew Hassan Kuka, among others. The chapel's foundation was laid during the 8th Assembly, but was left uncompleted until the 10th Assembly revived and delivered the project. So it could come funny to many Nigerians to say, oh, really? Do you think this moves these legislators one bit, telling them they are accountable to God? Does this even work at all? Where do you think she was coming from?
It's using his Christian background to take them. I think what she was trying to say is that they will give account to God of their service to humanity. And by the time they are accountable to God, some other people that are not Christian may begin to interpret it to be another thing. But what she was trying to say is they will give account to God. But first, I think they will first need to give account to the people they are representing. But it's quite unfortunate that in Nigeria, our leaders doesn't give account to people. In fact, they are not accountable to anybody. As a matter of fact, even we people will not demand accountability from them. And that's why most of the times, no matter what they do, we always aid them. Oh, you are the best. Anybody in power now is the best. Oh, you are the best. Even though when they know that this person is not doing anything commensurate to what is coming for him, so they'll still be hearing it. But if we know that like other parts of the world where we expect that our leaders to give to be accountable to us, we even demand accountability. In places like US, the what we call the state of the nation, where the president has to go before the representative of the people in the parliament to give account 1 year account, 2 years account, and before he leaves that government, they has to go to give the 4 years account of what he has done, and he'll be questioned. A lot of things will happen. But here, the reverse is the case. You dare not talk. If you talk, you are in trouble. Now they will see you as an enemy, and they begin to pursue you. So they don't want you to talk to them. Rather, and they will say they are serving you. So they are accountable to God, but first they are accountable to men. They are accountable to people they are representing. Remember, they are representing some set of people in their various constituencies. So they are representing people they're supposed to give account. But the democracy we practice in Nigeria, our leaders don't give account to anybody. I'm not even sure they know that they give account to God. So they just find out that they give account to the party. And once they tell to the party and they get some people, they settle them with 5,000, 10,000, that's all. Another person that talks, they see you, they say you are enemy, you don't like government, you are not loyal. And so they begin to pursue you. Sometimes they even find out and sack some people from place of work. They begin to maim, kill, a lot of things happen to people. So it's just telling them, but they should know also that they will give account for their position or their still worship to God, and we should also give account to people. But like I said, Nigerian politicians don't give account to anybody, and they don't want you to demand accountability for them. And it's not their fault anyway. We that are supposed to demand those accountability are gullible enough to begin to follow them, even when they know that they are not doing well. So we begin to hate them, to begin to do wrong things. We know that they are stealing our money. We still begin to hate them. We know that they are not doing what they're supposed to do. We still hate them. We know that a lot of infrastructures are falling decay. A lot of things are there lying down. They are out of 100. They are telling us they do 20, and they begin to praise it to the high heaven that they have done 2 million. So I'm we say, yeah. But when those people leave power, you now see the same people that are saying Hosanna, we say crucify. So that's people for you. But naturally, we should know that they are accountable to the people that send them there as representatives. They are accountable to the people that led them to those offices. They are accountable to God too. But then they don't want to. No leader in Nigeria want to be accountable. They don't want you to even ask them anything. You talk to them like this, they see you as an enemy, and they begin to pursue you. They begin to follow you. In fact, you may be in trouble with them. And that is the way it is. And that's why we have our country as it is today, because our leaders are not accountable to anybody. They don't even feel that they are accountable. The only time they are telling us this time around, they are coming to tell you lies. They're going to do this, they're going to do it, they're going to do that. They will do this, they will do this. And many people believe they are gullible lies, and at the end of the day, they don't do anything. And nobody will do anything. We have examples about in Nigeria of people that misappropriation, abuse of office, and a lot of issues, not being able to do what they're supposed to do. There's no commensurate achievement vis-a-vis the money that comes to them. But yet, who dare ask them? Nobody dare ask them. If you ask them, you'll be in trouble. So that's it. But whether they like it or not, if they feel that they are not accountable to the people, they are accountable to God. God will ask them to give account of their stewardship for the number of years they are spent in the saddle, vis-a-vis what they are supposed to do to benefit mankind and humanity. With the money of the people that is coming to them, that they turn to their own personal money, and they are doing anyhow they like it.
Okay, interesting times in Nigeria as we get to this next story. I take this also from the Nation newspaper. We're getting more clarity on what's going on with the ICPC and RFI, and it'll be interesting to discuss this. ICPC recovers wiretapping equipment from RFI. Riders say, we got warrant to detain ex-governor for 14 days. He declined to cooperate with investigators. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, said it recovered equipment allegedly capable of tapping conversations and sensitive security documents from the Abuja home of former Governor Nasir El-Rufai. The commission also said it obtained a legal order from a magistrate court in Buari in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, to detain El-Rufai for 14 days, which is due to expire on Thursday. It denied allegations of arbitrary detention and repression of the former governor. The commission has asked the High Court of Justice of the Federal Capital Territory to dismiss El-Rufai's application, alleging violation of his fundamental human rights. ICPC said the former governor has corruption allegations to answer, including questions over the whereabouts of 1.4 million euros, 180 suspicious payments totaling 2,158,799,199 naira from a consolidated revenue account linked to Kaduna State IGR account, and transfers to undisclosed account amounting to 428,122,180 and 18 kobo, among others. The commission confirmed that an aide of the former governor allegedly linked to the matter has left the country. There's a whole lot of load on El-Rufai's head and neck. Probably I will just say it that way. This is a whole lot of trouble. But let's come back to this now. A lot of things were found, including wiretapping equipment from El-Rufai. Will El-Rufai get out of this either way, politically, by law, by constitution? Is it going to get out of this anytime soon?
Well, that question, I can't say yes, I can't say no, because we have instances in Nigeria of people that commit a lot of infractions, and at the end of the day, nothing happens to them. Probably his own case will not be because of this wiretapping thing. But as far as corruption is concerned, a lot of people that are much more corrupt, and then nothing happens to them. So now, but with the wiretapping equipment recovered from him, I think they should ask him more questions, because that's the one for him. He even said that he has some people that are doing the job, so they should make him confess who are those people doing the job. I'm seeing a situation that if they can get to the root of that matter, probably the issue of security in Nigeria will be a thing of the past. Probably it's going to mention some people that are working, those people that are supporting insecurity, those that are giving them information, those people that are wiretapping, those people that are involved in that breach. So maybe if they get him to say it, then we'll be marching towards getting to the end of insecurity. If he's the one that is supplying this information to the people in these terrorists, so they should get those people. Who are those people that are working with him? The one in what of the one in Kaduna? What of the one in Abuja? What of the one in other places? Where are those people? Where are they scattered? Who is funding them? Who is funding them? Where do they get this equipment? These are some of the things they need to recover from it, and so that we can actually, because it's a very serious, grievous offense that he said. And especially that has to do with our security. Mostly that we've been battling with insecurity for so many years. And people have been alleging that we have some governors and past governors that are involved in this situation. One even said that one of the past governors, referring to the Minister of State for Defense, Matawali, that is the aid that was that is always sending to give money to these people in the bush, and a lot of things like that. So they need to question them so that we can get those people involved in the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. If you can pay point to them and we arrest them. But then again, you don't trust Nigerian politicians, because sometimes when they come and say, okay, we're on your side, somebody will find the government looking away, and they won't say they are forgiving him, they won't say they are not forgiving him, but they will just be silent on that case, and it will just die natural death. I don't know what is happening to Yaya Bello's case till now, that is moving about. So now that they said the blood is coming out from the nose, they know how to do the drama. They will package him very soon. And very soon now you see the same El-Rufai as somebody that will die tomorrow. And they say, okay, let him go for treatment. And that's the end of the case. So that's why sometimes when Nigeria initiates a case like this, you don't want to say it's going to get to a conclusive end. At the end of the day, it just passed the same way that most cases used to pass. But in other parts of the world, they will use this man to get to the root of insecurity in Nigeria. By this single confession, they are going to add what they are getting now. They will make it, for me, I'd say everyone that is involved. At the inception of insecurity in Nigeria, we have to say it. And by that, it will be very easy to deal with it. But then, the way we are playing politics in Nigeria, you can actually trust this politician.
Okay. You can begin to drop your comments on WhatsApp or on Facebook. On Facebook, Midas Radio 90.5 FM. We're still getting ahead with the conversation, but we have to let all of these details out. Studio line to call later on when the lines will be open: 0915 090 5905. 0915 090 5905. Or call 0704 100 1905. 0704 100 1905. Or you could choose to message us on WhatsApp, whatever your thoughts are. On a number of issues we have talked about this morning with our analyst, engineer Muyiwa Obayonju. WhatsApp 0915 190 5905. WhatsApp 0915 190 5905. And don't forget to catch us on Facebook, Midas Radio 90.5 FM. Midas Radio 90.5 FM. Okay, let's get to this, engineer. FAN cashless policy roll out sparks airport gridlock. FAN's cashless policy rollout sparks airport gridlock. And that's in Punch. Passengers traveling through airports in Lagos and Abuja on Sunday were left stranded following the implementation of the federal government cashless payment policy at airport access gates, triggering massive gridlock, missed flights, and widespread frustration among travelers. Many passengers narrated harrowing experiences as motorists struggled to comply with the newly enforced electronic payment system introduced by the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria. While some travelers abandoned their vehicles at the airport entrances due to difficulties completing payment, others said they missed scheduled flight after spending hours attempting to access the airport. Passengers who spoke with the Punch lamented what they described as poor planning and inadequate infrastructure to support the transition to electronic payment collection. Okay, so, a frequent flyer in Lagos, Adedejire One, said government agencies must balance reform with operational readiness. He added that he had to park his car at the airport entrance with his relatives to catch his flight. So what happens to such cars? I don't know what can happen, but I don't know if you as an analyst, were aware about any detail that we're going to have some cashless policy at the entrance of the airports in Nigeria, maybe Lagos and Abuja to start with. I don't know if that story was made public, but these passengers, according to what was captured here, say, well, this is even new if you're talking about this. How do you just suddenly implement? And people and you know what it is when you miss your flight. You know what you have to pay extra, sometimes even double. So let's see, this kind of implementation in Nigeria, I don't understand what's going on.
You see, you have a country where anybody can just wake up and put up a policy without proper planning. And that's what we've been saying. Well, before you can put up anything, you know that you have put the necessary facilities and infrastructure in place to do that. Now, rather than say cashless policy, you expect the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria fund to have maybe contact one of the banks or two of the banks to come and station at the place so that these people can go in there and now make their payment, bring the receipt, and then maybe get the ticket, whatever pass. Because now this is what we are talking about when people are shouting electronic transmission. This is just a matter of using your phone or whatever, the USSD or whatever to pay, and your app to pay, and it's not going through. And these are the things we'll be talking about, that when there are traffic on the line or there will be congestion, because it is first in, first out, and sometimes it depends on the network. And with the type of network we are using in Nigeria, some of those things, they are not visible. Forget about politics. This is not politics. I'm not a politician. I'm talking to you academically. That unless we have a communication satellite that can give us now uninterrupted internet access, and so it is then that we can be talking about those ones. You can't put those. You can't not have those ones and just be coming out with all this internet of a thing. It doesn't work out like that. It doesn't work on GSM because of the bit rate and the transfer rate of some of these things. So it won't work out like that. Now you want to do cashless policy. There's no infrastructure that will be able to accommodate the traffic that will be coming. How do you do that? So some people just be there for 2 days, and that's why they are missing their flight. Because sometimes you do the transfer or you see your ATM card, whatever, and the thing is not going because at that time there's a drop in the internet access. So what do? So that is it. You don't just real out policy. Let the infrastructure be in place. It's rather unfortunate. We have launched 2 satellites. The one is lost in the space. Nobody knows where the other one is. And yet we are talking about a real time. When people are talking about it, it's a real time. We are not doing electronic voting. We are talking of real-time electronic transfer, forgetting that you that is talking real-time, try to transfer money where you are to somebody in front of you and see the rate at which the thing is going to go. So these are the things. The infrastructure must be put in place before policy, and that is called readiness. But we will that one is not there. It causes a problem. And at the end of the day, they will now be needing that to deal with the issue of traffic congestion, deal with the issue of how to get space, deal with the issue of people missing their flight. Who refund it when you miss your flight? So these are some of the issues that need to be done. But in Nigeria, somebody can wake up tomorrow and just put up a policy without necessary planning to ensure that policy will go through.
All right, let's take some comment on Facebook now. Abdulhamid Famuibo says, good morning, Midas. Thank you. He says, Happy New Week again. Thank you. Ma Olebara says, this INEC chairman has already started failing. We have already lost confidence in him with the charade he conducted in Abuja and is now telling us we cannot have a perfect election in 2027. If he can't give us credible, free and fair elections, let him throw in the towel now, because we cannot continue this way. We cannot keep quiet and watch them destroy our hard-earned democracy democracy. We need patriotic, focused, creative, charismatic, and God-fearing leaders with milk of human kindness and not dealers. Adewale Isaac says, good morning, presenter. Whether it is a rumor or propaganda, it's high time for Tinubu to allow his blood relation to be in the kitchen to prepare his meal and that of his family as well. Okay, Adewale from Ikogosi. Okay, thank you very much. Olivia Williams says, good morning. Look, behind every rumor, there is an element of truth. President Tinubu's poison saga, who knows what really happened? Anyway, it's still subject to clarification. And on Iran-Israel-US war, I pray it won't extend to other countries of the world. We don't want third world war. If even we're counting on the benefits that the world will bring to Nigeria through crude oil prices, I think we should as well think about the damages that it will cost the whole world. Abiodun Abiola says, religiosity won't save Nigeria. Every lawmaker is accountable to Nigerians, not God. This type of statement from PBAT's wife clearly indicates that electorates don't matter in political calculations in Nigeria. Anibot Olushola says, the same analyst who once advised the opposition to form a formidable opposition to this present administration is now accusing them of desperation. Can we now agree that this president was also desperate when he was in opposition? A question to the analyst. Okay. Obababa GCFR says, every society with their peculiarities. So far, so good. Nigeria's democracy is better than the most benevolent military rule. God bless Nigeria. And Michael Akinloye Olubodun says, good morning, presenter. Happy New Week from Ode Kitty. Good morning to you, Michael. Now on WhatsApp, good morning, Midas, and Happy New Month. Pertaining to the latest US-Israel-Iran war, the theocratic regime in Iran has been waging proxy war against US, Israel, and the Jews since 1979. They made destruction of Israel their religious and official policy. As long as this regime exists, there will be no peace in the Middle East. Ola from Irekiti. Okay, those are the comments that we have for now. So very quickly, interestingly, let's see if we can pick a few calls, and then we could touch on what the INEC chairman had said there. 0915-090-5905. Let's get this. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Month. This is Mommy Funke. I'm calling from Shekiti.
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
I want to talk about the poison something. They should not just wave it aside. The people or the person that dish that thing out should be questioning. They should arrest him. Let him prove it. They should not just say it's just rumor like that. No, something is fishing. He should be arrested. Then El-Rufai discovering tapping machine, tapping wire in his house. That's the heart of terrorism. Is the heart of it. So I'm not sure this time around that we'll be free from that. Then the INEC chairman, I was supposed to run on Pafuwa, our God long the man has said this all, and we are saying it's not ready. You want him to lie? So it's all that won't lie. Like we do not complain to our leaders. We don't complain. We call them and shake the money in the corners of our room. If we complain, they will listen to us, but we are not complaining. We are only causing them. That's the problem we are having. Good morning, Buki. God bless you.
Good morning. All right, let's take another caller here this morning, if this would allow. Let's take this. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Comrade Olanipe from Atolagbe speaking from Adrekiti.
All right.
Well, my concern is the protest being carried out in the northern part of this country towards the killing of the leader of Islamic the Islamic person in the Iraq there. So I beg of you not to let us involve ourselves too much about this, because if it should continue, it can lead to a very bad, chaotic situation. So I pray that God will take control so that it not escalate. And I beg the Israelis and the Americans not to allow this war to become a third world war we don't want in annihilation. And we pray that we shall not experience it. Once again, I appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my presenter there.
Good morning. Very quickly.
This is Pastor Dan from Oyeki.
All right.
I just want to see, whatever you are doing, there's always what we call nemesis or karma. And that is what I say maybe is happening to us right now. The situation whereby you are monitoring or you are monitoring whatever is being done in the government. When they say that they saw you now acting the account of the NSA. And this is what happened. Look at what they saw in your house. That's why when you are in politics, you don't always dig the grave of your enemy so deep. Because one way or the other, you may also fall in it. And that is what is catching up in him. As we know that all these things will come up, we wouldn't have done all what we're doing. Good morning.
Good morning.
God bless Nigeria.
Good morning. God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much. That's where we'll end Pepper Trends this morning on Midas Radio 90.5 FM. Let me thank our analyst, Engineer Muyiwa Obayonji, who joined us via phone today. Thank you very much for your time.
Let me quickly say this before.
Okay, please go ahead.
There's no perfect election anywhere in the world, and Nigeria should know that. And so now, for the man to say there's no perfect election, even whether you do real time, in US there's still problem of election, in Russia, in China, everywhere in the world. But again, I've come to know Nigeria that when things favor them, then anything is good. If they go to court, it favor them. Oh, judiciary is the hope of common man. If it doesn't favor them, judiciary is corrupt. And when the result favor them, oh, election is perfect. The government, they are doing well. If it doesn't favor them, it becomes a problem. So that's why I know that there's no perfect election anywhere. But at the same time, the INEC should do everything within their power with this vote on them to do well, so that at least there will be confidence in next election.
All right. Thank you very much for joining Pepper Trends today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Pepper Trends. I am BUKOLA FORTUNE-OMOSOLA. Join us again tomorrow, 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. Bye-bye.
The submissions and opinions on this show are exclusively those of the analysts and the presenters. They do not represent the position of the station. Thank you.
Let's turn it up.
This is Midas Radio 90.5 FM. Unrivaled entertainment non-stop.
Ìgbà tí mo kọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ sí o, wọ́n ní kí ló fẹ́ àná kún wí o. Ẹ ṣáàmọ̀ ẹ̀yin tèmi lẹ́kìtì. Ẹ mú ní kí n fàsìkò yìí já yín sí ni o pé Midas Radio 90.5 FM lẹ́kìtì ibẹ̀ lẹ ti máa gbọ́ gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ nípa entertainment àti gbogbo nǹkan ìròyìn tó gbámúṣé. Ìpolówó ọjà tí wọ́n ń sọ nígboro Midas Radio 90.5 FM lẹ́kìtì la wà Pasuma Wonder. Ṣé.
I got a hangover. Whoa, I've been drinking too much for sure.
Tó bá ti rò títì tó dẹ̀ tún ṣẹ́ wẹ́lẹ́ má gbé kúrò níbẹ̀ Midas Radio lẹ́ ń gbọ́. Ó yá filẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ jẹ́ kó wá bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn lórí ọwọ́ yẹn Midas Radio. Filẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ jẹ́ kó wá bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn lórí ọwọ́ yẹn 90.5 FM.
Àṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ o àní kí n láti rí o àṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ kí n láti rí àṣìmágòkè sí torí bí gíga láyé tèmi ó ṣíwájú pé ta láǹtakùn bá kú láti bí dédò ó máa tún takùn lọ dádó wàdó àwáyé àtúnwá tàwé lọ.
Torí pé I declare myself to be blues for life. Torí pé mo kọrin bákà wọ́n sọ pé mo wà bákà o. Mo kọrin Arsenal wọ́n sọ pé mo wà Arsenal. Mo kọrin Man U wọ́n sọ pé mo United. Ṣùgbọ́n Chelsea gangan lèmi ṣe.
Madrid for Spain CR7 Cristiano Ronaldo kò ní bàjẹ́. Wọ́bẹ̀s CR7 ẹ̀yin bákà ẹ̀ lọ jókòó ẹ ti ṣe tán. Àsìkò yín ti tán ẹ lọ jókòó. Up Messi! Wọ́n kí. Wait, I don't know. Everybody knows bad, you know. Anything about you.